He was beautifully balanced and had this rich red color and the interesting blaze. But the best thing about him was his eye.
I started riding him 3 months before he ran his first race. The first time I put my saddle on him and galloped him around, he was a little bit hard pulling horse. Eventually he got going real nice. After the first few times I started working him, I told Lucian Lauren, you got a racehorse in your hand.
Royal and Regal is third and holding on. Goldback drops back. Secretariat is fourth and moving up on the outside and is now third and moving at the leaders as they come for the head of the stretch. They're at the head of the stretch and Sham is the leader. He leads it by a length. Secretariat is in the center of the racetrack and driving. Checky Green now drops back. Coming on a bit is Forgo, our native on the outside. Now and they're in the stretch. It's Secretariat. Secretariat on the outside to take the lead. Sham holding in second. It's Secretariat moving away. He has it by 2.5. Sham then on the outside, our native. At the wire it's going to be Secretariat. He wins it by 2 lengths. Sham is second. Our native third by an X. Into the turn, Ecole Taj has it by 2 lengths. Torsion second by a length, and then Sham third. Sham under an easy hold right now, but here comes Secretariat. He's moving fast, and he's going to the outside. He's going for the lead, and it's right now he's looking for it. Ronnie Turcotte sends him alongside Ecole Taj. Here we have it. Ecole Taj is the leader, but Secretariat is right alongside. Then still further back, that is Sham now going to the outside in third. We're moving down the backstretch. Secretariat holding it by a length and a half. Here comes Sham second on the outside now. Now it's Secretariat the leader by a length and a half with Sham moving into second. And it looks like Ecole Taj has had it, dropping back in third. Coming on in fourth is our native, and he's pretty close. Torsion fifth, and a trailer way back is Deadly Dream. They're on the turn, and here's the race, folks. Secretariat trying to hold it, and Sham is driving to get him. These two are beginning to open a few lengths as our native settles into third, and he has about 3 lengths on Ecole Taj. Head of the stretch, Secretariat 2.5. Sham under a strong left-handed whip, and he's making his run now, but it's still Secretariat holding on. Secretariat by 2 lengths. Sham driving second. There's a strong left-handed whip again by Pinkeye. He goes to it time and time again, but Ronnie Turcotte has his whip put away, and Secretariat has him put away. He's beginning to draw away. It is Secretariat. He's coming to the wire. He wins it by 2.5, almost 3.
That was the day he felt terrific.
I said, just leave him alone. I said, just take a long hold and let him run his own race.
Ron Turcotte, he let him run. Come on, let's see what he's got.
They continue down the backstretch, and that's Secretariat now taking the lead.
I looked at the teletimer and saw that the horse had gone 3/4 of a mile in 1:09 and 2, which is the fastest 3/4 of a mile ever run in the Belmont Stakes. And he's leaving Sham at this point.
They're moving on the turn now. For the turn at Secretariat. It looks like he's opening. The lead is increasing.
He is running and running and running. And I turned to the guy next to me and I said, he's lost a horse.
3.5. He's moving into the turn. Secretariat holding on to a large lead. Sham is second, and then it's a long way back to My Gallon and Twice a Prince.
And I'm thinking, he has gone insane. And I'm cursing him under my breath. You moron. What are you doing? You know, you're going to kill the horse. You're going to lose the Triple Crown. Don't you know how fast you're going?
Nobody knew that was going to happen. Not the rider, not the trainer, not the owner, or I think probably not the horse.
Secretariat is widening now. He is moving like a tremendous machine. Secretariat by 12. Secretariat by 14 lengths on the turn.
And he still has 1/4 of a mile to go. And I'm thinking to myself, he's going to totally collapse in the stretch. He can't keep this up. And I'm asking other guys that are on the track, what are you thinking? And everybody to a man is thinking, he's going too damn fast.
Secretariat is in a position that is impossible to catch. He's into the stretch. Secretariat
revolution.
Finally, after I turned for home, my curiosity got the best of me. I had to turn around. When I look at it, I scare myself.
They're in the stretch. Secretariat has opened a 22-length lead. He is going to be the Triple Crown winner. Here comes Secretariat to the wire. An unbelievable, an amazing performance. He hits the finish 25 lengths in front. Has accomplished the unbelievable task of breaking the mile-and-a-half record by 2 3/5 seconds. That is a record that may stand forever.
You beat a track record, you normally beat it by 1/5 of a second. He knocked 2 seconds, maybe 2 1/5, off of the track record and won by 31 lengths. It was, there's no horse in the history of horse racing that could have ever beaten Secretariat.
The racing world this week said goodbye to one of the best dirt performers in recent history, with the untimely passing of Arrogate at the tender age of 7. A seemingly all-too-brief racing career, sadly now matched by an all-too-brief stallion career.
He's very imposing, and the way he runs is just relentless.
But Arrogate, a colt of considerable promise, cruised in by a half-dozen lengths.
We knew that distance was not going to be a problem. He had speed, but his lung capacity is just off the chart.
Here comes the big A. Arrogate on the outside, Gun Runner in front of Neolithic, but Arrogate swoops up on the outside. America's King Croesus of horse racing went to the front, 200 metres left to go. Arrogate has drawn away from Gun Runner. A is for Arrogate, A is for Absolute Superstar, A is for Anointing. Have we seen the anointing of the man of war of the 21st century?
Unbelievable what he did.
Been lucky, but man, I've never seen one make a move like that that just took your breath away.
It wasn't until the outrider walked up to me and said, I don't know if I've ever seen nothing like that.
Mike Smith lets Arrogate loose, and here he comes. He's going to try to make a race of it with a 1/4 mile to run, and they're into the stretch, and California Chrome comes roaring home with Arrogate coming after him on the outside. A furlong to run. California Chrome put to the test. Arrogate full out. Can he stick with it? California Chrome. Arrogate still coming. California Chrome. Arrogate steals the show in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Shaman Ghost splits horses for Jose Ortiz, and they're into the stretch, and it's the Breeders' Cup winner. It's Arrogate in front, leading by 3 with 1/8 of a mile to go. Shaman Ghost is trying to get into second. Then Neolithic. Back fourth is Noble Bird, followed by Keen Ice. But what a race! What a sport! What a horse! Arrogate romps in the Pegasus!
I can actually say now that I've ridden the best horse in the world. So to get this is pretty special.
Cowboy Malachi 2 lengths clear from Dothraki, Fell Swoop and Shiraz. English is coming down the outside. Exosphere's not in the hunt. And Chautauqua's coming with a big run on the outside. Our boy Malachi being tackled by Fell Swoop. Here he comes. Chautauqua. Boom! Right over the top. Chautauqua takes out the TJ. Back-to-back wins.
Amazing Kids, the Wizard of Oz, followed by Gold Fund, Charles the Great, and now Berry unleashes the champ, Chautauqua to the middle part of the track. Penophobia tackled, buffering with Aero Velocity. Aero Velocity put his head in front from Penophobia. Strathmore, they're not listening to me. Lucky Bubbles, Chautauqua is winding up. Aero Velocity joined by Strathmore. Lucky Bubbles, Chautauqua still coming, going to the lead. Lucky Bubbles, Chautauqua, here he comes, the Thunder down under. Chautauqua race to the lead. What a champion!
Chautauqua still last. Fell Swoop goes up the inside of Russian Revolution. Stride for stride. Fell Swoop, Russian Revolution. English comes off heels and the mare is starting to let down. English goes after Fell Swoop. Russian Revolution's run his race further back to Voodoo Lad. It's English and Fell Swoop fighting it out. Chautauqua very late. It's English a half length in front. Can he do it? Chautauqua, he's flying. Yes, there's history.
And we're about to find out the future of the modern day Burnber of Australian racing, Chautauqua. Elite Drake in. Here we go. And he stood there. He didn't come out. He refuses to leave the barrier. Tommy Berry has given up on him. Chautauqua is still in the gates. He has refused to come out.
Did you feel on Friday night when you saw him stand there under Tommy?
No, I thought, you old bugger. He knows. He's too smart. He's too smart. He knew what was going on. You know, I mean, you could probably ask him the questions. He knows the answers, because if he doesn't know the answers, he makes the questions up. So, you know what? He's won 6 Group 1s, $8 million, and he's given punters and fans a hell of a ride along the way, because I don't know how many people have said to me, I backed another horse. And all of a sudden I'm cheering for the grey bugger, and then I realise, hang on, I backed the opposition. But that's what he does. I mean, this horse, he's just so smart. And have a look at him stand there now like he's part of the conversation.
It was a really cold day, and we just weren't sure who would show up. But it was amazing. The fans began arriving early in the afternoon. We estimated in the end we had about 1,200 fans. They were literally 4 people deep along the outside rail of the show ring. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. There were fans who had driven from New York and even Washington State.
Zenyatta is closing nicely. Caramel Coffee has the lead, but you better take a look at Zenyatta to run by.
I don't think we really realized how good she was going to be until after her first race.
They're up. And Zenyatta is making a mockery of this field. Here's a future superstar, Zenyatta. Wow. St. Trinian's making her move. She's outside of Zardana. Zardana's a length and a half from the front. St. Trinian's is going to be 4 wide. Meanwhile, Mike Smith is watching it all unfold, and Zenyatta is only 2 lengths behind, and she is after St. Trinian's, who comes calling for the lead. Zardana just in front. St. Trinian's has now taken the lead. She's a length and a half in front of Zenyatta, coming to the 16th pole. St. Trinian's all out. Zenyatta trying to run her down on the money. St. Trinian's still a neck in front. Here's Zenyatta. Yes!
If she wins this, she'll be a super horse. She's starting to pick them off, though. Zenyatta going to hook to the outside. Meanwhile, it's Colonel John. Summerbird in the red cap. And Zenyatta's come to the outside. Zenyatta coming flying on the grandstand side. Gio Ponti on the inside. Summerbird is right there. This is unbelievable. Zenyatta, what a performance, one we'll never forget.
Ada is one of those unique individuals, much like a Secretariat, and you don't have to follow racing, you don't have to be a fan of thoroughbreds or understand the game to appreciate and love what they are.
unbelievable is Frankel, who's clear of the field.
The champion starts to draw away.
From day one, he was an extremely well-balanced, good-looking individual. He was very handsome, very attractive, well-made, with good bone and quality. And he had a rating of 7+, which in that foal crop was the highest rating.
But he's left them for dead here as they come inside the two. He's gone 3-4 lengths in front of Frankel. In second place is Clamour, followed further back then by, on the inside, Eskimo and Treasure Beach. But this is a matter of name the distance inside the furlong, and Frankel is striding away. By golly, he looks a champion. It's Frankel by 10 lengths and going further ahead. Frankel goes on to win the Royal Lodge.
They have dropped out towards the rear of the field, but Frankel is already 4 lengths clear. He's heading down now towards the last half mile, and it's Frankel and Tom Queally by 5 or 6 lengths to Casamendo in second place, and then rerouted in third. Rodrigo Connor and Slim Shady and Native Khan just in behind those. Samid comes next, and then comes Brooks. Jubabi Gold is still at the back of the field, but at halfway Frankel is almost 10 lengths clear. They're heading then down towards the bushes now. Frankel continues to be in a massive lead to Casamendo in second place, and then rerouted behind that is Parfort. Jubabi Gold coming from the back of the field, but at the bushes Frankel is 15 lengths clear. Frankel is heading down towards the last quarter mile. He's making every yard of the running here. Jubabi Gold and Native Khan have moved into second and third places. Parfort is behind in third place into the dip. Frankel continues to be in front. He's 6 or 7 lengths clear to Jubabi Gold is coming to second. Native Khan in third position inside the last furlong. A horse who is pure class. Frankel has destroyed them from halfway. An amazing performance as Frankel heads towards the line to make every single yard in the Guineas and win it well. Jubabi Gold in second, Native Khan in third.
He was quite free, you know. He wanted to get on with it, and he just was doing too much the whole time, you know. But gradually he's got better and better and better, and now I think he's sort of, touch wood, you know, he's safe. He's quite a character. He's got quite a lot of personality, which is very good. You know, most good horses have personality.
As they race inside the final quarter mile, and Queally says go on the champ. It's Frankel that leads the way, and he opens up in tremendous style. 4 or 5 lengths clear of acceleration. The rest are well beaten up, and it's all the way for Frankel. It's going to be 11 from 11 here. The champion of the world, Frankel in majestic form by 8 or 9 in the Queenie. Brilliant performance.
Just coming out after it on the outside, and then Charme d'Oro. Winx is now getting to the centre of the track and is hitting the line well. Admirata Bell, but Feline sprinted. Winx is coming after it down the outside. Feline's the leader. Winx is closing in on the outside. It's finishing very fast. Gets up, good win. It's Winx beating Feline.
Seppi, Lifeless, Ordinary and Saracen trying to pick up, but around the turn, Red Excitement. He's certainly making it exciting. Pass hitting pretty quietly, 6 lengths clear. Now Winx is getting cracking. Further back to Antonio Giuseppe, Chicante still there. Red Excitement 5 in front. Now Winx has only got 1 more to pick off. Red Excitement 3 in front. Winx is coming. Red Excitement, but here she comes. Right over the top, Winx. Barnstorming finish again. 19 in a row. 3 lengths clear, but Winx is getting into her work, and they're broken clear from the rest. Golo's Shop in front, but Winx moves up on the outside. Winx takes the lead from Golo's Shop, and here's a second Queen Elizabeth. This is a silver jubilee moment on the throne for 25 consecutive wins to equal the record of the Great Black Caviar.
I still pinch myself every day that I was lucky enough to be involved in her.
He is with 9 stone 12, 136 pounds as a 4-year-old in the Melbourne Cup of 1930. 10,000 pounds sterling that race was worth, and the best stayers in Australia were engaged, but Farlap simply played with them. Here he comes now, over near the inside rails, going easily, but Pike's not going to take any risks. He's riding him out. The others are scrambling for second and third. No danger now. Here's the post, and Pike eases him.
Well, I think Farlap's the greatest horse I've ever rode. He's a phenomenal galloper. I think the best horse I've ever seen and ever rode. Is he easy to ride? Yes, he's a very easy horse to ride. He's a very known horse. I think a baby could ride him. Is he the best horse you've ever ridden? Yes, he's the best horse I've ever rode in my life. I think ever that I will ride, too. I don't think we'll ever see his equal again.
Riding along with a clear lead, Cabizo is dropping out, and Rivali Boy runs into second place, followed by Scimitar. Farlap has just unwound a terrific run, but he shows no signs of weakening as he comes towards the home turn. Around the turn into the home stretch, Rivali Boy moves up to Farlap. They're racing neck and neck now. He's got him. Now Farlap's strides are commencing to tell. He's coming away from Rivali Boy with only a short distance to go. Elliott is riding very hard, but Farlap's got it. Come on, Farlap. Farlap, you beauty.
And they're off, and this is a goal. And Georgie Wolf is at the whip on Seabiscuit to keep him up. And they're coming to me head and head. War Admiral on the inside. Wolf is driving Seabiscuit, and Seabiscuit is outrunning him. Seabiscuit is coming to me. 1 length, 2 lengths in the lead. And he came right over 2 lengths. He goes down Seabiscuit by 2 lengths. War Admiral right on his heels. War Admiral is trailing him around the turn. Seabiscuit on the lead by 2 lengths. War Admiral is second to him, and Kurtzinger sitting still. Now War Admiral's trying to move to him. They're going into the backstretch. Seabiscuit by 1.5 lengths. Now Seabiscuit by 2 lengths. War Admiral second. Seabiscuit by 2 lengths. They've got 3/4 of a mile to come. And it's Seabiscuit by 1.5 lengths down the backstretch. They're halfway down that backstretch, and there goes War Admiral after him. Now the horse race is on. And now War Admiral has a head advantage, and Seabiscuit's got a head advantage. They're going into a far turn. as they head for that home lane. This is a real horse race, just what we hoped we'd get. They're head and head, and both jockeys driving. It's the best horse from here in. They've got 200 yards to come. It's horse against horse. Both of them driving. Seabiscuit leads by a length. Now Seabiscuit by a length and a half. Wolf has put away his rep. Seabiscuit by 3. Seabiscuit by 3. Seabiscuit is the winner by 4 lengths.
As Smith hoisted him into the saddle, Pollard felt his confidence return. "You know the horse, and the horse knows you," Smith whispered. "Bring him home." Exactly 1 minute and 36 seconds after the bell rang, he found himself bottled up with Seabiscuit straining at the reins. There was no way around the front runners. Finally, at the far turn, a lane opened barely wide enough for the horse to get through. Pollard leaned forward in the saddle and shouted, "Now, Pop." At the touch of the whip, Seabiscuit broke through and exploded into the lead. He and Pollard scorched down the stretch and under the wire, all alone. Seabiscuit had clocked the fastest mile and a quarter in Santa Anita's history, the second fastest ever run on an American track, and had surpassed the world money-winning record by more than $60,000. Some called it the greatest comeback in the history of American sports.
Since 1965, many thousands of horses have been trained here at Chautauqua, but not one of them has covered the ground with the ease, grace and power of Seabird.
Il avait, quand il était yearling, il galopait pas comme les autres. Il avait une facilité à tel point, je connaissais pas la valeur des chevaux à ce moment-là. Je disais toujours, c'est incroyable de galoper comme ça. Déjà yearling, c'était extraordinaire, la façon dont il galopait. Alors après, j'ai pas cherché à comprendre, et puis finalement, il était le bon cheval. Mais mon souvenir, le meilleur, c'est la façon dont le mouvement qu'il avait quand il était yearling. C'était incroyable. Je passais un par un les chevaux, peut-être 20, 25, les yearlings en suivant, et lui, il était beaucoup plus facile. Beaucoup plus facile.
The favourite to win the name is Secretariat. Not too much as you like.
Over the age of the 15s, also under the age of the 109.
Can anything beat Seabird II? The French horse is such a cast-iron favourite, it's every punter's ambition to find a horse to beat him. Number 9, as before, is a son of Alcide, but neither royalty nor anyone else expects him to win. It's different with Nixar, very well fancied. While as for Seabird, they say he's the only horse to show real Derby form this year. Here come the all-important little men with the big responsibility, soon to be in the saddle to ride in the world's greatest classic.
Line a second of it. No, look at it. No, two bumpers as you like. If you're passing the favourite. This is the winning.
Jockeys, please mount. Jockeys, please mount.
Pat Glennon up on Seabird II is an Australian rider. A challenge that to our native jockeys.
Pull him up, Doug. The off one's off. Is it? Quarter will leave if you get in. Don't rush in, jockeys. Go on, Renee. Take a line. Steady. Got to replicate. Steady.
With Sonicelli, Nixar, Gulf Pearl and Meadow Court battling it out, though Seabird is well placed to make a big effort. 3 furlongs out, I Say has the lead on the rails, but watch Seabird. Pat Glennon is going to give him his head. And Seabird goes like the wind.
Come on, Bertie. Come on,
It'll be Seabird's race. Pickett brings Meadow Court up behind the French colt. By a good 2 lengths, Seabird wins the derby.
Coming there with a great run in the centre, and it's Seabird now has come to take it up. It's Seabird on the wing as they race into the straight up the final 2 furlongs. It's Seabird now being chased by Reliance. Seabird from Reliance. Caviar is not far behind him. Then Diatom and Annalyn. Seabird from Reliance in second place. Then comes Diatom, then Annalyn. And Seabird swerving as he races up to the line. But he's being patted by Pat Glennon. A great champion. Seabird's the winner. Reliance is second. It's a photo for third.
Hawkes recalls the first time she saw Black Caviar.
You know, I got out of the car and she was big and she was angly, but she was beautiful. You know, she just had something about her, a presence. Her grandmother is Scandinavia and her mother is Helsinge. Helsinge is a town in Denmark, and the waters around Scandinavia is where the sturgeon live. They produce Black Caviar, and I thought, well, Black Caviar is classy stuff, and it's a catchy name, and that was one of the names I submitted.
Hale is closest to the stands, the leader with Black Caviar. Buffering's under the whip and 3 lengths to Fox Wedge. Down in the final 300 and Hale is clinging on narrowly. But now here comes the great mare, and Black Caviar raced up and she's gone past Hale. Schofield had to pull the whip. She's having a bit of a race, but Black Caviar is a length and a half in front, and the wonder from down under wins again. Black Caviar 19 straight from Hale.
And it was great to see when the chips were down how much courage she had, and she fought it out, and like it was all a little bit unsuitable, but these champions they just continue to do it, don't they?
Followed then by Krypton Factor. Red Rock is out the back in company with Genki, then Serious Prospect, who's at the tail of the field as they race up now towards halfway, and Soul the leader from Bogart, and now Black Caviar ambling up on the near side in third. They're a length to Escalade, followed by Krypton Factor and Jimmy Stars and Restia d'Argent, and further back is Genki. But as they come up now onto the course proper, 2 furlongs left to go. Soul is the leader. Now Nolan starts to shake the reins at Black Caviar. She starts to move up on the near side. She draws level now with a furlong left to go. Now he says go on the mare. She gets about a half length in front of Soul. Restia d'Argent, Moonlight Cloud coming home fast, but it's Black Caviar in front with 100 yards left to go. Here's Restia d'Argent and Moonlight Cloud. He eases up near the line. Here's Moonlight Cloud. It's tight. Black Caviar and Moonlight Cloud in a photo. In third then Restia d'Argent, followed by Soul. Further back is Krypton Factor, and then Serious Prospect back in the field from Society Rock. Bogart the last to finish. He has eased near the line, and this is tight. This is very, very tight indeed. Black Caviar flashing home down the outside, Moonlight Cloud, as they race towards the line. Oh, she might have just got the bobbin. She's got there.
She was one of those. I purchased her at the English Premier Sales here in Victoria about 4 seasons back now, and she was closely related to a horse called Magnus that I brought to England that performed over there and was placed in the King's Stand, and I obviously had an attraction to her through her family, and when I saw her I just genuinely, you know, the old line, fell in love with her. I've fallen in love with some slow ones too, but I fell in love with this one, and she's ended up being very fast.
As she was walking around the sales ring, what was it about her that caught your eye?
She just had a great presence about her, and she's one of those horses that every time she takes a step, every part of her moves. Like, it's like walking down the beach, and you know, it doesn't even have to be a good sort, but if their rear end moves good, you turn around and have a look.
Nolan asking the mare to come after him now, and in a heartbeat she raced up and hit the lead. She's giving Sydney some of the black magic, and look at her go, Black Caviar. She raced away. She's going to set a new Group 1 record in Australia. She's truly in a league of her own. Black Caviar racing away from Epaulet. Black Caviar doesn't let us down, beat Epaulet.
Coming on the right of the picture, the challenge Todre, Kurun in 4th place, Chantelsea in 5th place, and Roy Star over on the right, and it's High Belt over on the far side, Ribot on the right, who's gone to the front now. Ribot taking it up by a length from High Belt. Todre's in 3rd place, Kurun in 4th place, and it's Ribot, the Italian champion, this unbeaten horse, racing to the 4th victory in his 14th run of his career. Ribot, ridden by Enrico Gamici, striding away now.
Ribot had won his 14th straight victory and a prominent place among the great horses of history.
Her Majesty and the Queen Mother paused for a word with Sir Winston Churchill on their way to see the race for the richest prize of the British turf. The King George VI and Elizabeth Stakes is run over 1.5 miles and is worth nearly £24,000 to the winner. Once again, there's an international field, with the Queen's colt High Veld facing competition from France, Belgium, Ireland, and of course the great Italian champion Ribot, number 5, who's just won 3 outstanding victories in a month at Milan.
Of course, was hot favourite. He won the race last year. Indeed, he'd won all his 15 races. And so it was on this occasion too. In the straight there was no other horse in it. Ribot fairly romped home to bring his total winnings well over the £100,000 mark. It was his last race, for now he goes to stud, valued at something like £500,000.
There's no way to predict which horse will be the next great one. Some runners, like the surprise champion of 1977, literally gallop out of nowhere.
He had pizzazz and he had energy, and when the first time we saw him walk out of the stall, he came out with a burst, and he was a walker, and he had some kind of energy and power, and he was awesome.
But Mickey and Karen expected little from their modestly priced yearling. But over time, it became clear that Seattle Slew was no ordinary horse. He had an aggressive disposition, a self-motivating will that was unrelenting.
Seattle Slew has a very distinct personality. Seattle Slew is a very kind and generous horse as long as you ask him. You do not give him instructions. He will do whatever you ask him to do. If you give him an order, you're in trouble. You just ask him, and he will cooperate. He's very generous. But you don't want to get into a fight with him because you'll lose.
And they're up. Seattle Slew broke slowly. Breaking on the lead, it's Bob's Dusty on the inside. For the moment, showing speed on the outside, gets the lead. It's For the Moment taking over by 2 lengths. Then Bob's Dusty Run, Seattle Slew has moved up along the inside. Stretch. For the moment, Seattle Slew still battling it out together. And here's Run Dusty Run now closing ground and moving into third. It's Seattle Slew, however, that takes it over at the head of the stretch. Seattle Slew moving away, now opens 2.5. Run Dusty Run driving up on the outside into second. Steve's friend, here's Sanhedrin now closing also along the inside. Coming to the wire, Seattle Slew opens it to 4 lengths. At the finish, it's going to be Seattle Slew, and he's going along easily. He wins it by about 2 lengths.
They're off. They break away on the outside in Seattle Slew. Run Dusty Run down along the rail. It's Cormorant. They swing around the clubhouse turn. It's Seattle Slew on the outside. Cormorant along the rail. They match strides as they swing around the turn. They go to the backstretch. It's Cormorant along the rail. On the outside, Seattle Slew, they match strides. They continue down the stretch. Cormorant now takes a slight lead. Seattle Slew on the outside second. On the outside, it's Seattle Slew in second place. Along the inside, Iron Constitution 4 lengths back. They come to the top of the stretch with a 1/4 mile to go. It's Seattle Slew in front. Cormorant in second. A 1/16 of a mile to run. It's Seattle Slew. Iron Constitution charging on the outside. Coming on to the finish. Seattle Slew in front by 2 lengths.
You know, the race, it rained, I think, something like 2.5, 3 inches. And we went to the racetrack that morning and it was a sea. And, you know, you just hope that he doesn't mind the mud. And then in the race, they went so slow, the first 6 furlongs. They went like 1:14 and 2. Well, he gallops in the morning that fast. And then you think, well, maybe we're going too slow. And, you know, going 1.5 miles, you have a lot of time to try to think. And, but then, you know, when he came around the turn, he just opened up again and, you know, he won it very easily.
Seattle Slew has 4 lengths on Run Dusty Run. It's Run Dusty Run in second and Sanhedrin third. They're clearing the finish line. It's still Seattle Slew, and he's opened it out to 4.5. Then Run Dusty Run and Sanhedrin. They're coming on to the wire, and it's on.
A sport that waited over 20 years for a Triple Crown winner.
The flag up waiting for us to, and they're off. For the lead, a firm break sharply on the inside, Seattle Slew on the outside. Then it's Darby Creek Road, followed by Nasty and Bold. To the head of the stretch. 3/4 in 10 and 1, and it's Seattle Slew holding the lead in the center of the racetrack. He's made it 3.5 lengths. Affirmed is taking up the chase on the inside, but it's still Seattle Slew's holding on. Nearing the finish, Seattle Slew has it by 4. Affirmed, fire back, Nasty and Bold. At the wire, it's going to be Seattle Slew. He pulls off the big one, winning it 2.5.
He went on to sire 85 stakes winners and allowed Mickey Taylor to make the greatest understatement in thoroughbred racing history. The one-time logger said, "I'll never have to cut another tree."
I think the Taylors have been a fairy tale for people who would just had the idea they'd like to get into racing and don't have too much money and go with a budget and maybe a good advisor, and to see that they can strike it rich and really hit the jackpot.